Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to celebrate today is Justice Clarence Thomas' knighthood into the halls of amazing gun rights activists on the judicial court forever. He just wrote the opinion where the Supreme Court struck down bump stock bans universally, forever, finito, final, done, gone by. This is massive. I'm going to walk you through the opinion that he wrote right now. We've got Bruin in the last 2 years, and now we've got the Cargill case. Guys, this is why we fight every single day. A lot of people said when we were talking about this case going forward that this would never happen. Right now, this is the benefit. This is the fruit of fighting every single day. 2 landmark cases in the past 2 years. 4 gun rights. Massive. Now, as we go into this, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We are spreading freedom and the good news of the two-way twice daily, sometimes even 3, and we'd love to have you along for the ride, and thank you for that consideration. All right, beautiful people, I'm going to walk you through the points of this opinion that are massive. So, I'm sure you already caught my live, someone else's live, everyone went live. This is massive. 6-3 opinion for saying bump stock bans are unconstitutional. Now, let me show you who did what here. It's no big surprise. Justice Thomas delivered the opinion of the court in which Roberts, Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett joined. So those 6 people, those justices are the ones that said this is an unconstitutional action from the ATF. The dissents were written by Sotomayor, and Kagan and Jackson joined. So you had the 3 liberal justices, and then you even had Justice John Roberts join the unconstitutional ruling of the bump stock ban. Now, let me show you some of the things they said in this ruling that Clarence Thomas put in here, because this is what we have been saying the length of this entire bump stock ban case. Check this out. This is massive, guys. Like, it's hard to overstate how important this is. With a machine gun, this is from the actual opinion Thomas just wrote, a shooter can fire multiple times or even continuously by engaging the trigger only once. This capability distinguishes a machine gun from a semi-automatic firearm. With a semi-automatic firearm, the shooter can fire only one time by engaging the trigger. Using a technique called bump firing, shooters can fire semi-automatic firearms at rates approaching those of some machine guns. Now, why is that important? Approaching the rates of some machine guns is exactly the verbiage the left was using when they were trying to say it was machine guns, but it wasn't. Approaching machine guns. We covered this in depth ad nauseum at detail because they can't say it's a machine gun and they were arguing that it was a machine gun. Thomas put this in the final opinion. Let's continue. I got a few more things for you. Although bump firing does not require any additional equipment, a bump stock is an accessory designed to make the technique easier. Remember, the technique, which is not a machine gun, makes it easier. So it's not a machine gun. A bump stock is an accessory designed to make the technique easier. A bump stock does not alter the basic mechanics of bump firing, and the trigger still must be released and re-engaged to fire each additional shot. He just described what a semi-automatic definition is versus a fully automatic. This is now enshrined in the Supreme Court record. There is no more bump stock or like bump stock items or like machine gun items. They just nuked this from orbit, from existing definitions written in existing laws. This is massive, guys. Absolutely massive. For many years, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives consistently took the position that semi-automatic rifles equipped with bump stocks were not machine guns until the ATF abruptly changed course when a gunman using a semi-automatic rifle equipped with bump stocks fired hundreds of rounds into a crowd in Las Vegas, killing 58 people and wounding 500 more. ATF subsequently proposed a rule that would repudiate its previous guidance and amend its regulations to clarify that bump stocks are machine guns. That is so key because he's highlighting it's okay and then it wasn't okay. So far he has said semi-autos are semi-autos, bump stocks are accessories to make bump firing possible, completely ruling out the idea that that is a machine gun because it makes something easier, but it does not change the definition. This is massive, guys. Massive. Translate this out to the other things that they're going to say. Well, you can't have that auto sear, or you can't have this XYZ, or you can't have this accessory. all things that they have set precedent on is now going to be called into question because the ATF's usurping of the authority of Congress. That is the underlying thing that is holding it all up. Translating this out across other things, the ATF's ghost gun regulations, the ATF's Chevron deference interpretations, because that hits at this. The ATF claim they can redefine something. Well, that's Chevron deference. They just smoked it from orbit. Guys, this is the beginning. This is going to have a trickle effect very similar to what the Bruin decision did. And in the past 2 years, 2 years, you've had the Bruin decision and you've had the Cargill decision. This is absolutely massive, guys. Absolutely massive. And I got one more thing for you from this third page of the opinion, or second page of the opinion, rather. You guys need to see this stuff. It's too important not to show you. As relevant, Cargill alleged that the ATF, this is the plaintiff, that the ATF lacked statutory authority to promulgate the rule because bump stocks are not machine guns. After a bench trial, the district court entered the judgment for the ATF. The Fifth Circuit initially affirmed, but reversed after rehearing en banc. A majority agreed the code is ambiguous as to whether a semi-automatic rifle equipped with a bump stock fits the statutory definition of a machine gun and resolved that ambiguity in Cargill's favor. The ATF exceeded its statutory authority by issuing a rule that classifies a bump stock as a machine gun. They overstated their statutory authority. They overstepped their bounds. This is so much more than just a piece of plastic bump stock. This is about the ATF usurping the power of Congress, what we've been saying on this channel for 3 years now. Everything here has come to pass. The black pills, the doom and gloom, everyone who said this would never happen, here it is. We're at this moment. They're the same people who said the Bruin decision would never happen. The same people who said the assault weapons ban were going to go through and pass. None of that was correct. And here we sit with another landmark ruling against the gun controllers because we didn't give up and we tried and we fought. Let's continue. Another one. A semi-automatic rifle equipped with a bump stock is not a machine gun as defined because it cannot fire more than one shot by a single function of the trigger. And even if it could, it would not do so automatically. The ATF therefore exceeded its statutory authority by issuing a rule that classifies bump stocks as machine guns. Exceeded its constitutional authority. Guys, this is massive. Here's the third one. A semi-automatic rifle equipped with a bump stock does not fire more than one shot by a single function of the trigger. The phrase function of the trigger refers to the mode of action by which the trigger activates the firing mechanism. No one disputes that a semi-automatic rifle without a bump stock is a machine gun because a shooter must release and reset the trigger between every shot. By definition, boom, 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 boom. This entire thing was stupid. The ATF overstepped and built an entire case on stupid. They just lost. Understand the ramifications. They now have to fall back with this L across all the other things. What have I said on my previous case on videos about this? One of these house of cards falls. The entire thing falls. Because all of it is built upon the same principle of redefining definitions. The ATF just got stymied more than they could possibly imagine because they overstepped. Let's keep going. The ATF argues that a shooter using a bump stock must pull the trigger only one time to initiate a bump firing sequence for multiple shots. This initial trigger pull sets off a sequence: fire, recoil, bump, fire. That allows the weapon to continue firing without additional physical manipulation of the trigger by the shooter. This argument, this is important, this argument rests on the mistaken premise that there is a difference between the shooter flexing his finger to pull the trigger and pushing the firearm forward to bump the trigger against the stationary trigger. Moreover, ATF's position is logically inconsistent because its reasoning would also mean that a semi-automatic rifle without a bump stock is capable of firing more than one shot by a single function of the trigger. Boom! Understand, guys, and that's the opinion that Clarence Thomas wrote. They just came in and destroyed the ATF's presumed authority to rewrite laws as they want. Everything that we've been covering, all the pressure that has been put forward by Congress, all the lawsuits, FPC, GOA, Second Amendment Foundation, everything just came to fruition, and we have another landmark case because the Biden administration had to push the ATF for their gun controllers. So in closing, I'm just going to say, thanks, gun controllers, for trying to push that. Now that you've done that, you close the door on yet more stuff that you can't do in the future. I look forward to your next infringement where we smoke from orbit, and then we have even more landmark cases that you brought for us because of your overzealous nature of gun control. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.